for you.
I think I'm going to go ahead and mute. I think somebody was having another conversation there. Oh, and LaKanya. Oh, thank you. She hit record for me since I neglected to last time we had one of these lunch and learns. Thank you, LaKanya. So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our LTAN Lunch and Learn. My name is Amy Catcher, and I am the chair of LTAN Steering Committee, which is the Lead Tennessee Alumni Network for those of us who love to just talk in acronyms and forget to explain what the acronyms are. So I'd like to welcome everybody. We've organized this, although I'd like to thank Michelle Rencher for actually getting our speaker today. And we're going to hear all about AI. So I would like to introduce at this time Roger Waynick, who's going to be speaking today. Roger Waynick leads the state of Tennessee's efforts in developing and implementing its AI strategy, advancing adoption, training, and innovation across all of the agencies. Before this role, he held leadership positions in strategic engagement, client management, and technology consulting. And I think he's going to tell us a little bit more about himself now. So at this point, I think without further ado, I would like to introduce Roger Waynick so he can tell us more about AI and how the state of Tennessee uses it. And I think you're going to have kind of a conversation and then we'll have Q&A, or how do you want to work this out?
So I'm probably going to talk for about 15-ish minutes, and I would really like to have a conversation and answer questions because, I mean, most of the questions are coming from agencies, and I do my best to get out and evangelize and talk about policies and things. So I'd love to just have a conversation.
Beautiful. I'll keep an eye on the chat as you're doing your thing, because I know it's kind of hard to do that while you're sharing your screen. So, all right, Roger, take it away.
Okay. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Again. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Before I went into presenter mode, I did see a lot of friendly faces from different years and times in state government. So it's good to see some friends. And for those that I don't know, again, I'm Roger, Director of AI for the state, which I've technically been in this role for going on 2 years, but in a couple different titles, and it's really grown from where it started. And that was when I was on Michelle's team, and thank you for Michelle for inviting me. I also saw Brian Beard jump on here, who jumped over to Treasury. Brian, good to see you. So
you too.
My efforts started with us trying to get a handle on what does AI actually mean and how is this going to impact us, and then it's just grown from there. I've spoken at a lot of events like this, from Talking FNA to Leadership Tennessee to ELTs from across the state. Recently, we put on the AI Expo. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But the whole idea here is just kind of give a rundown of what's happening, where we're going, and where you can get some more information and also tools that you can use. So this slide is really just things that who I am, what I'm working on, trying to develop our strategy in conjunction with Commissioner Bryson and our CIO, Kristen Darby. And if you haven't had the opportunity to meet Kristen yet, she is fantastic, and we're very fortunate to have her leading STS now since Stephanie's retirement, and she is all in on us transforming the way that we provide services to the state. So we're very fortunate to have her to work with. But in terms of what we're trying to do, it is to provide services to the citizens better in innovative ways, and align those with our business goals and the governor's priorities. So that's just kind of a breakdown. Some things that have happened since I kind of got into this role, and again, it's evolved, but we launched our AI review committee in June of 2024. This group of cross-functional members and cross branch membership meets weekly to talk about AI that is being used in tools that state government uses every day. If you don't know, all AI has to be associated with any IT vendor out there. They're going to say we have to have AI in it. So AI is getting baked into all of the tools that we already use. Teams, for instance. We'll talk about Copilot and all that here in a minute, but it was started to get baked in. Every Microsoft thing every Microsoft tool that we use, any creative tool that we use, any of the things that we're doing for citizen facing interactions. So this group really does a lot of work on reviewing the tools that we're using and making sure that they align with our enterprise policy, which our enterprise policy was first published. Is the first policy that came out was by the ISC, which gave authority to STS to write an enterprise policy. And actually, that group was led by she did a fantastic job at that. But we had buy-in from all branches of government. That our whole idea here was AI is here and it's going to impact all of us, and we don't want it to we don't want to make it look like FNA and STS is making decisions in a vacuum and for something that's going to impact everybody. So we had a bunch of different members from other branches of government that all signed off on the policy before it went into effect, actually on Halloween of 2024. So it is essentially almost a year old. So that policy dictates how data can be used by companies that embed AI in software and solutions that we use. So the AI review committee looks at all the tools that come through and makes sure it's not training on our data. It whether they're open source or open models to the internet, and if the state approves them. If the state does not approve an AI solution, you should not be creating accounts within those solutions that have our domain associated with them. You shouldn't be using solutions on state property that are open and are training on data. It should be approved. So that's what the review committee does. Also, we launched an AI steering committee, which took some time. This was all around governance, an AI steering committee in July of this past year, which is supposed to look at use cases that come from departments. Again, we don't want to make it look like STS is dictating what departments use for AI. The ideas need to come from departments. And we got in our budget last year actual dedicated dollars associated with AI that we can start testing. There are a lot of starts and stops in the AI space, and we need to actually experiment a little bit. So the steering committee meets. It's got kind of a different group of commissioners and some high-level people that are trying to figure out how the money's going to work, what we should dedicate resources to here and there. So we've seen about 20 use cases up to this point in varying stages of process, whether it's something that we can build with something we already have, a solution we can build with something we already have, or we need to go out to a vendor. All of these things are being vetted based on 10 different criteria, whether it's ROI, whether it's feasibility, impact to citizens, impact to the workforce. We're looking at a lot of different things. So all of that information is also posted on our Team TN page. So there's Team TN, you can either go to STS or there's just an AI bucket now that you can go to and look for what we call these use cases, proof of values. They go to the steering committee. What we're looking to do is find value in the AI tools that we use. So approved tools right now, again, these are just productivity tools. AI is going to go a lot further than this, but these are things that we can use in a limited capacity. everyone does have access to Microsoft Copilot Chat. Copilot Chat is basically the free version of M365 Copilot that anyone in the enterprise can access via your web version of Outlook. Microsoft, we're also working right now, is going to embed it within Teams and all of the desktop apps and your desktop version of Outlook as well. This should start over the next few months, and we're also we're updating everyone's pay channels where everyone will see Copilot Chat in all of your tools. So that being said, Copilot Chat and Copilot M365 are different. Yes, the icon looks the same, but it's not exactly the same. Where M365 Copilot works directly within your tools, and you can have it where you can have it recommend certain things. Copilot Chat doesn't do that. You can drop specific files into Copilot Chat and have it recommend things based off of those, but it will not look directly at your data within the application that you're using. So it is different. Microsoft Copilot 365 is deploying in 2 weeks. We have 220 licenses that we are giving out. We're starting with ELTs, and we're moving down and through communications groups throughout the state and financial groups throughout the state in terms of manipulating data and creating PowerPoints and presentations and things like that. So this is all coming. It's $360 a year per user. And that's where we're starting small, but everybody else can also get started with Copilot Chat because it still has good functionality. You can ask it questions like you can anything else. The state also has the largest enterprise statewide contract than any other state in the country for ChatGPT. This rolled out a little over a month ago, and we bought 1,000 licenses, and that is only going to increase. We did a initial allotment to departments based on size. So we are not charging agencies for ChatGPT this year. We're doing it somewhat as a pilot. We had it for a few months with a very low number of users, and we're going to continue rolling out these licenses. I think we've given out around 600 right now. And once we get up to that 1,000 allotment, we're going to figure out what the need is for or want for more licenses. There's integrations associated with it where we can also integrate it with Outlook and SharePoint, some other things. We're exploring all of this, but the whole idea was we need to get tools in the hands of users now, or else they're going to go find it, or our employees are going to go find it their own way. And there's shadow IT, there's shadow AI, and we don't want that because the enterprise policy says all tools have to be approved to be used. So it's a brief rundown of 3 tools that are in use or can be used. There's Acrobat AI Assistant. It's also another productivity tool that you can use. It's significantly cheaper, but than Copilot 365 and ChatGPT, but it also creates great operational gain just by looking at documents. So thinking about how you can engage with STS and myself moving forward, I mentioned this earlier, we're trying to align our AI strategy with things that are already going on in our long-term goals and the governor's priorities. So we want to get things done fast. Things with AI are changing every day, so we have to be a little bit agile and able to change, and that's what we're working towards. I was the first employee that had AI associated with their name, but we're building out a team. I hired 2 people in the past week, someone to help with engagement and take a little bit of so we can spread a little bit wider, and then someone to support some of these SaaS solutions that we're onboarding for particular use cases. We don't want to be redundant with certain things. We don't want so many pointed AI solutions that we have to support all of them, and then we don't have the bandwidth to do so. So we are looking to hone in on a few things and make some real headway in the space to provide better services. So I do want to mention, I know that several folks that are here were in attendance at the AI Expo on October 2nd at the Tower. We did this last year and it only grew this year. We had over 500 people in attendance, just based on space. We couldn't invite the whole state, and it was still packed. But we we did 4 different tracks to educate our employees on what's happening, how we can use particular solutions across agency. We did some technical tracks for some of our more technical folks, and then we had some domain specific presentations around law enforcement, law, safety, and corrections, and HHS. All of these presentations, I think there were 64 of them, are on Team TN, along with other training resources associated with ChatGPT, Copilot. There's some more general trainings in LinkedIn Learning, and IT Academy also, for those that have access to that, also have access to these trainings. So if you want to go back and see everything that was there, all of this is made available, as well as our 2 keynote speakers. What's next? We want to continue expanding usage. We're going to continue expanding training associated with Copilot. We partnered with a group called Brainstorm, that everyone that has Copilot chat also has access to Brainstorm, regardless of department, regardless of branch of government. Everyone should have access to these micro learnings where you don't have to sit for 2 hours or 3 hours and go through these trainings. They're short, they're quick. The idea is to get you using the tool quicker. We're also going through the process of setting up an innovation lab currently. We've engaged with an external partner to help us stand up an AI sandbox where we can test and iterate quickly and get from experimentation to implementation with existing applications that we want to bolt AI onto and use and provide better services. So that is very unique to us. Some other states I've talked to have explored that, but we're actually doing it. Continued enablement. We need the ideas to come from agencies because we can't think everything up ourselves. And like I said, we're not deciding things in a vacuum. I also manage the AI Advisory Council, and which Commissioner Bryson and Kristen both chair. And we're submitting our report that is due in statute by December 31st of this year, hopefully in 2 weeks, about AI strategy and how it's going, our full AI strategy and how it's going to impact the state. So I'm very much looking forward to that. There's been a year and a half worth of work that's been associated with it. And I think that not only in state government are we going to lead the country in AI adoption, I think the state as a whole is going to play a really key role in leading from the front in this space. And I really think that Tennessee could be the Silicon Valley of the AI race. So I'm going to stop there. I talked for a little over 15 minutes, but I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. I really want this to be a conversation from here on out.
We did get some great questions in the chat, and nobody was timing you. I promise. Nobody said, "Uh-oh, he went over 15 minutes, Roger." Okay,
Great.
So Lynette wants to know, how would she, and I'm sure this is a lot of people are wondering, how do they go about getting ChatGPT licenses?
So there, as I mentioned, there was an initial allotment based on agency size. and we went through the way we were rolling out was we chose an AI champion, went through our IT directors. We chose an AI champion within the agencies that would also choose 10 power users. Because the AI team is small but mighty, we still can't train everybody. And we wanted to really get the agencies to start talking to each other and thinking like, if you're a caseworker in DCS, how would you be using this tool? And like trade off some of these ideas. So just depends on the agency size. I would work through your IT director to see if there's still licenses available. Again, we're at 600 right now, depending on which agency. A few agencies have maxed out. I haven't looked at the numbers in the last 2 days. So I would work through your IT director.
Yeah, because right now I'm actually buying it myself. So if I could
For
work stuff. So
I would not do that. Lynette, if so, are you send me an email offline and we'll chat about that.
okay. Thank you.
And I'm going to try to get most of these questions kind of in order as they went in the chat, but somebody did ask, and it really kind of goes perfectly with this. Pamela wants to know, how do you identify who your specific AI champion is within your department?
The IT directors did that. People that were very interested had been involved with our AI working group that isn't exactly the same as it used to be, but were, I guess, technology curious and would consider themselves to be advocates for trying innovative new things. So the champions have all been chosen. The power users have all been chosen, but we are still adding folks as we go.
Okay. And so this is not really a question so much as a comment, but Linda mentioned that
you said, I looked back at this question. How can we identify who the AI champions are for?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to your IT director and they can let you know. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. And then Linda mentioned that she's very happy with ChatGPT as compared to what she was able to do with Copilot Chat. So
yes,
throw that out there for you.
It is much more robust of a tool.
Yeah, I found with Copilot Chat, I was limited to how many characters I can provide to Copilot. And even trying to chunk things up into segments, like if you have a transcript from a meeting like that you're looking to extract information from, it was pretty much headache inducing to try to figure out how to break it into small pieces but still be manageable.
Yeah.
Okay, up next we have Kayla, who is asking, is Acrobat AI approved? And how does it do processing ADA compliant Adobe document conversions?
So it does not do that. Adobe is working on some more tools to support that, but Acrobat AI is actually right now. Acrobat AI Assistant is the only AI tool that's on the standard products list. So if you want access to it, just go through your normal procurement process. I think it's $60 a year.
Okay. And while we're talking about accessing the AI tools out there, you talked about Brainstorm. How do you access that? Wayne wants to know.
There was an enterprise email that went out probably a month and a half, 2 months ago, with an introduction to Brainstorm. It goes through single sign-on. All you have to do is log in through the normal way that you would, and you will see all of the trainings. There's Acrobat AI trainings in there, and there's Copilot Chat trainings in there.
Well, and this kind of, sorry, I'm jumping over you really quickly, Lisa, to get to Jennifer Katzenmiller's question. Where do you find all of the AI trainings on Team TN?
Either go through the STS page, and then you can scroll down on the bar to AI, or go to the Team TN page and look at all of the pages. And on the first In the first row, there's an AI page dedicated to us.
I like how you mentioned that they're not really long, that they're nice and short, because I think that's a lot of people are
Yes.
like, oh, there's trainings available. And it's like, okay, great. So let me add that, 12 more hours to my day. So it's nice that they're short.
Micro trainings keep people's attention.
Indeed. Indeed. All right. So Lisa wants to know, do you manage the Cisco AI as well?
I do not manage the Cisco AI tools, but I'm in constant communication with that team, and I did approve those for use. So WebEx does have AI functionality now built into it. So if you have access to WebEx and you don't have access to M365 Copilot, you can use that tool, and you can get meeting minutes. You can ask it questions as you're going. If you jump into a meeting late, you can ask it, was my name mentioned? What do I need to catch up on? Catch me up for the whole thing. So there is, and that is continuing to roll out from that team.
Okay. Becky wants to know, do you think that there's going to be agency-wide trainings, or do you think that it's just going to stay kind of the go on your own, the micro trainings?
So in the next few weeks, we're planning with the integration of Copilot Chat into everything else that Microsoft offers. There will be enterprise-wide trainings becoming available. And then we are also going to talk to the agencies and ask, do you want us to come do a training just for your folks? So just be looking for some communications in the next few weeks. And I'm going to share my screen to go back to the question about the trainings real quick.
Perfect.
So Team TN, internal websites. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Should have asked. Artificial intelligence. So if you want to know about the AI Council, the enterprise policy, the ISC policy, the expo trainings, all of these are located here, the videos and the presentations. ChatGPT learning resources for OpenAI, OpenAI.com, and then a specific training that we held at the tower a few weeks ago. Well, if I can go back. Sorry.
Everything's slower when you're trying to show and share it. Have you ever noticed
Exactly
that?
right. There's trainings in Edison, IT Academy, LinkedIn Learning, the AI Steering Committee. If you want to request an AI solution and submit a proof of value, if you want to contact us, you want to know what you're interested in, this page is continuing to evolve with more resources.
Well, and so speaking of the committee, Natasha Green would like to get involved. How do you get involved in the AI committees?
So if you want to get involved in the committee is, well, I can click on this and show you who the members are. Kristen Darby chairs the committee. And the state COO, Brandon Gibson's on it, and a few other commissioners. If you want to submit a proof of value to the committee to be considered for funding, you just go click download one of these documents. If you want to get on our regular AI update, we're about to start sending out enablement briefs, as we're calling them, so you can just get regular updates about them. Email jen.ai@tn.gov and we can put you on the distribution list.
So a lot of the comments for the rest of the Lunch and Learn have been folks kind of sharing with each other that they found the emails to like how to get in a brainstorm. And they've been bookmarking the artificial intelligence page that you just shared.
Fantastic.
And that nature. So yes, Wayne said he's already been using Copilot to ask technical questions and have used it to create a requirements document. So
that's
looks
fantastic.
like folks have been jumping in here. So that's great. I'm not seeing any other questions. So let me just ask you, have you found anything surprising or interesting since you've kind of, jumped down the AI rabbit hole?
It is changing constantly and keeping up with the change. I mean, it is weekly, if not daily, something else is happening that we might have to adjust. I saw John Pfeiffer on here. I'm working on two separate projects with him, and we're seeing things happen all the time. And it's not boring, I can tell you that. And the more you use these tools, the more you'll get used to them. The more you'll start relying on them. But it's really supposed to make our jobs better and easier. So that's what I'm trying to get across and tell people. It's just you have to use them, and that's why we've signed these contracts so we can start, I guess, getting to know them a little bit better.
And given that things are changing so constantly, Wayne is asking, how do you keep up with all the changes? And can you recommend a specific newsletter or website or something that you keep an eye on, that's good about keeping up with the changes that, is there something that you can recommend?
So several podcasts that I listen to daily, but the Wall Street Journal Tech Brief is great. AI Daily Brief, fantastic. OpenAI puts out a lot of really great information. And to be honest, I use AI to help me keep me updated. You can create a GPT within ChatGPT that says, I want the seven best stories associated with the state of Tennessee, 4 stories, national headlines, and 6 stories associated with AI development daily. It's my inbox at 7 a.m. every morning.
Very cool. I never thought about using AI to get caught up on the latest in AI. I love that. And Brian said that he's seen some very promising things with AI assisted development as well.
Correct. Yeah, cool. It's great.
All right, everybody, come on. Keep those questions coming in. All right. You can also feel free to unmute yourself too, by the way. I mean, I know I've been reading the things coming in from the chat, but please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, make a comment. Goal is to have a nice, loose conversation.
I know that, this is Wayne, I know that with just Copilot, I was kind of impressed. I feel like it's a Chat GPT or a junior, but it does seem to do pretty good for what it is. And I put in what I wanted on that requirements document and had it written 2 pages in 2 minutes. And I provided it to another developer and said, of course, I went through it. I had to change a few things, but it basically created the shell. It created the basic of what I needed. And then it did ask me, and I asked it to provide some script. It asked me to provide some script, and I said, yeah, sure. And it did provide some script to do what I was asking. So I find that very powerful.
And if anyone's curious about what you can and can't put into these tools, Microsoft Copilot is locked down to our tenant, and it is a safe place to upload documents into. We still tell people to be very cautious with what you do, extract information that is identifiable to a person or a security document, but you can do just about anything. We feel very comfortable with it. And for any attorney, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say they are state of Tennessee specific version, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. We also you were saying something, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
I was going to talk about the retention policies of Copilot.
We actually just got a question about that. It's like you read my mind. Nicholas was going to ask, are there published retention policies for Copilot / GPT tools? So perfect.
So ChatGPT is 90 days, prompts and chats. And then, hey, Nick, good to see you, man. Copilot, we are about to publish these, but it is the same as Teams and email. So don't expect it to be there very long.
Okay. And then we also got a question from Christopher asking about where the data goes. Is it stored? Who sees it? Is it sold to third parties? And then he also was asking about time frame because he got that right before
Yeah.
you started talking about that. Yeah.
We are not selling the data. Like, that's the thing. Like, our data, state data is state data, and we don't allow people to train on it. We don't sell it. None of that. For ChatGPT, we cannot see anyone's chat. All we can see is how many times you're using it. So that's just what we're monitoring that, because we are paying for these for all of the agencies. And if you're not using it, using that license, why don't we let someone else use it that might want to see if it will help them with their job? So we can't see your prompts, your responses, the outputs, any of that. The retention, again, 14 days for chats and Teams. The retention is 90 days for responses, and ChatGPT is the same.
And again, because it's specific to state of Tennessee government, that's going to be different than a normal ChatGPT, right?
Correct. We have an enterprise instance, which it's all locked down. It's ours. They're not training on it. They're not using our data for anything else.
I don't think they're talking to us. I think that's background.
Okay.
Go ahead. Mute that. Okay, perfect. So is there anything else that might be a little bit different to our versions because it is enterprise just to the state of Tennessee, or all other functionality is going to be about the same? It's just, not sharing our information across the web.
For ChatGPT, we do have memory turned off. If people are familiar with or have their personal accounts, memory lasts and makes it get better and get to know you. You can personalize it for your own use, but it will not remember things that it might draw back on after a 90-day period.
Okay, that's interesting. Learning about all of this sorry, I am not a computer person at all. So this is all, it's all Greek to me. So
on my personal computer, it is kind of amazing that the ChatGPT remembers your habits and what you do, and sometimes will ask you if you want, since you're, like I might study some religious stuff, it might ask me if I want that, if I want a biblical perspective or anything. But it's really odd that it remembers that.
It is getting very smart, and the more information you give it, the smarter it will get.
We got a question in the chat about if there are any limitations depending on where it's used. For example, iOS devices versus Android. And then based on that, how does it compare to Apple Intelligence? Because apparently they're getting a lot of people asking if they can use the Apple AI, because the state phones are the iOS devices. So should push them towards that instead of the Apple AI?
We approved Apple AI for one of the newest versions that just came out. Apple AI is not, this is just a personal opinion, but it's not where Apple just in general is not where other organizations are right now with their AI development. I think they're using OpenAI and Siri, but it's not functioning the same way. But it is safe.
Yeah, I did read that, by the way, on LinkedIn Learning that Apple AI was using parts of OpenAI.
Yep, it is. And for everyone else that wants to know, Microsoft owns a very significant portion of OpenAI, and so they're building Copilot off of GPT.
That's why I was calling it Junior.
We are exploring Grok right now, and whether that's something that we can access in the future, and Anthropic for their Claude models, which someone did mention development. Claude is really good for development work and coding.
Christopher agreed with you. Rocket's impressive. And Brian mentioned that he has tested on Claude.
I know, Brian, I approved it.
Hey, Brian, any thoughts you want to share about Claude?
Yeah, it's so the experience, and there's other folks in Treasury that have done it a whole lot more than me with this stuff. But it's kind of, you tell it what you want, present it to me. Like, let's say you're working on the front end user interface, and it's like, okay, show it to me, and it'll mock it up. Okay, adjust this. Give me a metrics tile that shows these specific metrics. Okay, now resize that. So you're iteratively going through and developing a UI. You're iteratively going through with it and telling it, alter this workflow to include a step to notify Roger that this job has kicked off successfully. And it's really one at the AI Expo, the kickoff keynotes use the term vibe coding at the speed of thought, and that's the best thing I've ever heard that can describe it. It's way different.
Some of these tools are designed for different things, and Claude it's really great for that sort of work.
But we've got a cloud effort going on, and our cloud team has used Copilot for bicep code and that kind of thing. It's just no sweat. It's like, give me some bicep code to deploy, management groups and resources, and there it is. You got to alter it a little bit, but it's and it's cool. I asked Copilot on my personal device. I'm like, hey, show me. I want to build a storage shed bigger than 10 by 12. Give me the most efficient use of lumber for a storage shed bigger than that. It recommended a 12 by 16. Okay, give me a parts list. It recommended every piece of lumber, nails, everything I needed. And then it said, okay, now give me different plan options. And so it linked me to different videos, different styles. I mean, it was pretty fun. So it'll get as granular as you tell it to get.
That is.
I love that you found that use of it, Brian.
So, sorry, Christopher just asked this, and I was actually just kind of wondering this as well. So, with all of these tools right now, it's kind of approved for individuals at each agency, with the thought, if it works, it's going to then go out to a larger population. Or kind of talk us through, how does that work? It's just individuals at each agencies now, correct?
Yes, we're starting small because we need to get people used to using them, and then we're going to continue adding on top of it.
So how do you identify? I know you talked about there are certain AI champions right now. How do you identify kind of tier 2 or whatever you want to call it?
We're going to let the agencies come to us and say, we want to buy 70 licenses for FY27, and we will distribute them to certain teams for certain things. And until then, we still have Copilot chat available, and you can still look at documents, you can still ask questions, you can still improve your work output with that tool. At some point, there could be a reason for us to deploy ChatGPT or Grok or Claude to the enterprise. We're just not there yet.
So until everybody else gets everything, we all have Copilot.
Correct. Copilot chat. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does that help you, Christopher? I think so. Okay, cool. All right. And then Kristen just said, when attending the AI Expo, easy for me to say, several presenters encouraged us not to lock in on any one AI solution and to take advantage of several companies, almost as if it was a pay-for-use model. Have the companies that presented been vetted, and are we able to use them on a pay-per-use option? I know how long contracts take to procure, so this was kind of confusing.
So use the tools that use the tools that I've talked about so far. And then, I mean, all of these companies have been vetted or are vendors in one way, shape, or another. I mean, the vendors that we had there were, many of them were consulting groups um, working with Microsoft or working with IBM or working with um, a lot of different tools. We had 16 vendors there, but they're all doing work with the state in some way, shape, or form. So the tools they were using, productivity tools like Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or whatever, once they get approved, we can use them. But a lot of the presentations they were also giving were pointed solutions around a certain use case, and then we might have to do some development work to build them out. So, submit the use case through the proof of value and let the steering committee evaluate. And then if we're going to move forward, we might already have something that we can use it for, or we can build it in the innovation lab that I had mentioned that we're building out right now. The whole idea is for us to build up our own internal capabilities and not have to rely on the vendors as much. We're just not there yet.
Okay. Can I ask you, do you have a particular favorite at the moment? Or are they like your children? You can't pick a favorite.
Of the tools?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I they're used for different things. They really are. Copilot is, it's built into all of our all of our Outlook, Microsoft applications that we use daily. So it's great for those sorts of things. For research and ChatGPT is great. For what Brian was mentioning, Claude is great for other things. It's they're all it's their functionality. Some of the functionality is similar, but the use cases can be different. So I can't really point to one over another.
That was such a political answer. No, I'm just kidding. So Diane is asking, there are probably a lot of staff who will not have a clue about how AI can be used in their individual jobs. How do you think you can reach those folks and let them know what's out there and how it can be used?
So we are trying, there's 40,000 plus state employees, and we are doing our best. For a long time, it was just me trying to get the word out. I would ask them to sign up for the enablement briefs. We're putting out more information, as much information as we can on the Team TM page. Go to that. We're working through enterprise communications and the governor's office to put out information. Um, it's an interesting place when we have a flurry of emails go out, and then some people think they get too much information, and then some people think they don't get enough. So it's finding that balancing act. And when we're, having a rollout, we'll put out a lot more, and then we're going to send out STS communications around AI tips and tricks and Copilot updates and ChatGPT updates and council updates. So particularly, I would follow the STS comms and point people towards the AI page on Team TN.
I know
Okay.
that I'm trying to, with my team, I'm trying to actually have a meeting and got one scheduled to actually go over just what I did with Chat GPT the other day. Not Chat GPT, but Copilot, and just spreading the word. I showed one of the developers, and they were not aware that it was that powerful, that it could do stuff like that. So interesting
Yeah.
stuff.
Wayne, you sound like you should be a champion.
Well, I've really tried to embrace
I
it
would
because it's
support
here,
that.
you know. Yeah.
Wayne would be a good one for you, Roger.
That's what it
Oh,
sounds
thank
like.
you.
And-
Kayla, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just go ahead and just speak up, Kayla.
Yeah, Roger. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for leading these efforts. I definitely think that AI is the way of the future. So we appreciate all of your efforts to try to get it implemented in the state of Tennessee. I'm actually one of the champions for the Department of Commerce and Insurance. Just wanted to ask you, I know you said that you had built out a GPT and Chat GPT to kind of automate some emails going to you in the mornings. What, in your opinion, has been the most useful GPT that you've put together that's really changed either how you do a certain thing or just really helped you on a daily basis?
Resume screener. Building a based off of resumes and input to the job requirements, education requirements, and all those. Yes, you're going to spot check because we still want a human in the loop, and all decisions have to be made by a human based on our policy. But when you get 160 resumes and you need to make sure you have, because we only have so much time in the day, get the right ones, the top tier based on particular requirements. I think that is, you have to have this education level, you have to have this thing. It can really help with that. I found it a great resource.
Okay, thank you for that, Roger.
Hi, Roger. I just wanted to share, this is Cindy from DOHR, that we I work in talent acquisition. So we are working to potentially build a Chat GPT to help with minimum qualification screens for especially those large classifications that get the large number of jobs. So I'd be interested in seeing yours. But I did also just use it for a position I'm hiring for to do some testing with to kind of see if it does what, which prompts trigger the best review and, that kind of thing. So it was exciting to use and test it out. And so I would be interested in, learning or seeing what you have put together, comparing it to what I had built. So thanks for sharing that you use it for that.
Yeah. We should talk Sunday.
For sure. I'm super excited about this. So maybe can I steal 30 minutes on your calendar?
Just
if I can find it.
Don't do it tomorrow.
Oh, I won't. No. My calendar will be a couple weeks probably.
That's
but...
great. Happy to.
Well, and he's got very important plans as C-3PO tomorrow, or R2-D2 rather, sorry.
Yes.
You were the one with the dog
sorry.
costumes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. My dog has one too. So
So, well, first of all, Michelle said, thank you so much for reminding us all to remain lifelong learners as we use the AI tools, which of course I love. We're all lifelong learners. And then Sherry said, I understand that ChatGPT can be used for analyzing data and creating reoccurring reports. Can it also be used to forecast future performance based on historical data?
Where is this question? And okay, I understand ChatGPT being used for analyzing data and creating recurring reports, forecasting future performance based on historical. I have seen it do that. I would not necessarily rely on that information, but it could be a starting point for something. I mean, generative artificial intelligence is, it creates new things. So it can analyze, and the more it learns, the better it's going to get. And based off of historical information, it will come up with something. I don't know how great it'll be, depending on whatever the data is and what the use case is and what you're looking at. So just take that with a grain of salt. Maybe not investments, because no one knows.
No, I definitely wasn't thinking investments, but thank you. No, I was looking, as far as predicting if it's in contracts and we have to have goals in there. Is it something we feed the information and maybe it can help us forecast, if you will, where they should be performance wise the next 5 years, something like that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then Rachel gave everybody a great tip that she loves to use Copilot to copy paste her Microsoft Teams meeting transcripts into it and generate meeting notes from that. She still proofreads it, but she said it's a great time saver.
Rachel, good to see you. Yes, it's great for that.
So I like that. I think that's a great idea for everybody, because I'm sure all of us have that day where I've got 8 meetings today. What? There's only 7.5 hours in the day. So that's fabulous. Oh, wow. And then Tamika said it did help a lady win the lottery, allegedly. So maybe it can predict the future. I don't know. All right. So we have 4 minutes left in our allotted meeting time here. So if anyone else has one last question, I think we probably only have time for about one more question. Somebody wants to, I don't know, predict the
Well,
next
I don't have,
lottery
while I
numbers.
don't have a question, this is Michelle. I don't have a question. I just want to say a big thank you to Roger once again. When I did reach out to him, he was in the midst of a few days away from the AI Expo, and he could have said, no, I have a lot going on, but he said yes. And so I'm very thankful that he took the time today and not only come to us and share with us and encourage us to continue staying the humans in the loop, but of course, encouraging us to let us know that he's going to send the follow-up photograph of his Halloween costume extravaganza. And we look forward to seeing all of that. So thank you again, Roger.
Yes.
Thanks, Michelle. Happy
anyone
to
We
be
do
here.
appreciate it.
Anyone who missed us chatting right before the meeting started, he is going to be R2-D2. His wife made the costume. She's going to be C-3PO. One of their dogs is going to be an Ewok. The other is going to be Chewbacca. And I am super excited to see all of these costumes. So
Here's the helmet.
yes.
All right. Creative,
Oh my
creative.
gosh, that's amazing. That is so super cool. Wow. Oh, I can't wait to see those pictures. I'm so excited.
This was one of the more fun and creative lunch and learns.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yes,
mean, and
very
that
good.
was even before the R2-D2, it was winning for one of the best lunch and learns. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. So one thing I didn't notice, did you have your contact information in the slide deck?
I actually did not. It's
Okay.
pretty roger.waynick@tn.gov or jen.ai@tn.gov. I'll drop them both in there.
That one I saw, the gen.ai@tn.gov. So if anyone has any more questions, thinks of another use and says, hey, can we use it for this? It's hopefully going to be in the chat there. Perfect. There we go. So thank you again so much. And thank you everyone for joining us today. It's going to be hard to top this one. It really is. So
Thanks,
Very
everybody.
good.
thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.